What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on ESPN with a 12-team full PPR mock where we will be selecting third overall. Should be pretty interesting. And while we wait for this thing to kick off, a quick reminder, if you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter X at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear it in the comments, thoughts, questions. We will do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let's dive into this thing. It is about to begin, and we will be on the clock shortly as we have the third overall pick. And honestly, I'm going to just take this pretty simply in regards to my starting approach. I think I'm just going to go best player available. I was picking between one of the top three guys. They were Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Justin Jefferson. And again, I'm not going to overthink it. Let's go with Justin Jefferson here and see how that pans out in regards to running backs that are left in the second and third round. Maybe we get lucky. We land like a Derrick Henry in the second round, even though obviously he's ranked 15th overall here. So even with it being full PPR on the higher end, but I've seen crazier things happen. So let's just monitor it. I will also pull up the big board, even though we can see the picks here on the right side. So obviously the first three picks were Jamar, Bijan. I went with Justin Jefferson. Not getting too crazy. Just kind of, again, following the big board. I continue to say in the first round, you can't really go wrong with any selection. I feel like the first round is really, really deep this year. A lot of great choices. Even portions of the second round as well. So if you're in those smaller leagues, if you're picking somewhere towards the middle end of the first round, you can start off the first two rounds with a big bang with two elite type of players. And I will show you guys what I mean in a little bit. But look, Ashton Genty here, fourth overall. I don't really have any issues with it. Obviously, people giving a lot of love to the rookie running backs, especially when you have that type of draft capital associated with you. Then Saquon Barkley, taking a chance on Christian McCaffrey at the 106. I understand it. It's just a matter of how you build the roster afterwards, right? Then Jahmyr Gibbs, again, I understand it. CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra, now the run on the wide receivers. So CeeDee, Amon-Ra, Puka Nacua, Malik Neighbors. I imagine we're going to see guys like, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas shortly. Jonathan Taylor going at the 112, a little bit surprising. I thought he might drop a little bit. I thought we might have an outside chance of landing him. There goes our, kind of hopes of landing Derrick Henry, even though I said that was more so of a pipe dream. He goes with the second pick in the second round. But look, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like this player selected Malik Neighbors and Derrick Henry. I would argue he was picking 11th overall. Those are two elite caliber type of guys right out of the get-go. Here, Jonathan Taylor, Brian Thomas, could have been I think both of those guys can be top 10 players. For example, another duo that I really like here, Amon-Ra, Achane, at CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins. So this is what I mean. Like, if you're picking towards the middle end of a 12-teamer, and imagine if this was a 10-teamer, so, there'd be even more big names dropping down, being pushed down because of the league size. You can do some really, really big damage in the first two rounds and set yourself up for, a nice 1-2 punch depending on how you decide to build the squad. But, we're going to be on the clock here shortly. I want to pull up the top remaining names. Right now, if I had my choice, I know who I'm hoping makes it to us. I almost don't want to say the name. I almost don't want to say Kyron Williams. I almost don't want to say Chase Brown. Oh, my God. There goes Kyron Williams. I expect Chase Brown will be next. It's okay. No, A.J. Brown. Look, so first player here, they went with Bijan Robinson. Everything tells me to go Chase Brown here, but maybe if I risk it for the biscuit, I go Drake London first, then Chase Brown maybe. Let's see what happens. I think that would be the best possible outcome, but you know, we got to survive. Ooh, three more picks. Three more picks. Devontae Adams just went. All right. So far, so good. So far, so good. Holding my breath. Joe Mixon just went. Okay. Okay. All right. Not too bad. Josh Allen just went. All right. We're in a good spot. I mean, no. Chase Brown. Oh, my God. I knew it. I knew it. I absolutely knew it. Chase Brown just went. Okay, folks. Hey, that's why we do these mock drafts, right? So should I just punt? Should I just say screw it and go like Trey McBride here? God damn. All right. Let's see what happens, folks. We're going with an elite tight end. Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Trey McBride. Oh my God, I'm gonna absolutely hate this mock draft. But all right, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll turn out better than I think. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I will discover a new strategy that I should have been using all along. I'm not holding my breath, though. So running backs, right? That's what we're looking for. I mean, there's no chance even like an Alvin Kamara gets back to us. We're going to have to be building out like rookies. We're going to have to be building out like the James Connors, the Chuba Hubbards. And again, I don't even think those guys might make it down to us, but we'll see. So, hey, I mean, for what it's worth, our pass catchers are elite, right? Like Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Trey McBride, but would have been so much more balanced if we got Drake London and then Chase Brown. Again, we could have gotten Chase Brown in the second, but Drake London probably then wouldn't have made it to us in the third. So it's all a gamble. It's all one of those situations. But again, it's a mock draft. It's not the end of the world. This is why we have some fun with it. Hopefully you guys find it entertaining too, and learn from our mistakes and move on. So after our Trey McBride pick, we had Omarion Hampton. I think that's so early for Hampton. Like again, I understand it. You love the talent. You loved what he did in college. The landing spot long term is good, but this year, unless Najee gets hurt, I think you're looking at a 50-50 split. T. Higgins afterwards, James Cook. I was debating James Cook honestly in the third round instead of McBride. Lad McConkey seems like good value there. There it goes. Oh my God. Lamar Jackson, Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels. So run on quarterbacks in the third round. George Kittle. I think that's a little too early for George Kittle, just knowing how that San Francisco situation plays out when the majority of those folks are healthy. Breece Hall at the end of the third, Rashee Rice, Chuba Hubbard. I had mentioned Chuba Hubbard before. That's why you heard me sigh 20 seconds ago. Mike Evans. So, what do I find interesting here? A couple things to point out. With Rashee Rice drops a decent amount, but again, I continue to say it. It seemed like that was trending towards like a committee approach last year. You've got Justin Fields there now. Rashee Rice at 4-1, I think that's more of an appropriate spot for him compared to where I've seen him go in some other mocks, like at the end of the second. Then Chuba Hubbard, Mike Evans. There goes Alvin Kamara. So that's another guy that I really liked. I was hoping, oh my God, Tyreek, Jalen Hurts. There goes Kenneth Walker, another player that I was hoping could make it to us. So running back is absolutely destitute right now. James Conner would by far and away be the best choice. I think you could make that argument. R.J. Harvey is in there. Oh my God, but there's so many good values at wide receiver. R.J. Harvey just went. Holy crap. I don't like the idea of starting my running back situation being James Conner and then also being Arizona heavy with McBride. Maybe I'll go with. I feel like I have to go James Conner here. I've put myself in a predicament. Yeah, I mean Jackson Smith and Jigba was a really good choice there. Okay, look, I'm gonna say this: if Marvin Harrison is there for me in the fifth round, I'm gonna pull the trigger on Marvin Harrison. I'm live and die by the Arizona Cardinals. Jesus Christ, they're just way too good of value. Like, right? That's the case in my opinion. DK Metcalf, I was also heavily considering. Oh God, this running back build is gonna be looking rough. It is going to look rough. Laporta, I'm on the clock. I'm on the clock. Marvin Harrison is still there. Garrett Wilson is still there. I think both those guys are tremendous values. Everything tells me to pick David Montgomery, but just the best available value, like my heart tells me, dude, go Marvin Harrison, go Garrett Wilson. Oh my God, we're going to live and die by the Arizona Cardinals. No, I'm gonna say this right now. Marvin Harrison's the better pick. I'm going Garrett Wilson as a flex. I'm going Garrett Wilson as a flex for our roster. David Montgomery would have been the best pick, but I'm just trying to load up on points. I'm trying to load up on playmakers on the starting roster. Yeah, I mean there goes Marvin Harrison 2 picks later. I mean that was a no brainer. Caleb Johnson before that, folks. I mean, this is why you don't punt on the running back position. It's all right. It's a mock draft. We live and learn. We got sniped a couple times. I probably would have gone RJ Harvey instead of James Conner, but again, when you're looking one of those two guys as your starting running back, as your first running back and your only running back, you've probably made some wrong turns along the way. So Montgomery just went. Boy, we're going to be taking a lot of running backs the rest of this draft. Yeah. Okay. So, what could have we done differently? Obviously, the big thing is instead of drafting Drake London, draft Chase Brown first. And then, maybe we could have drafted Trey McBride. And the thing that kills me is, I don't think the difference between Drake London and Marvin Harrison is going to be all that much. I don't think the difference between Drake London and potentially Garrett Wilson, who we got, that's nuts. I mean, 3 rounds later, is going to be all that much. So that's why I think that you really do have to address that running back position earlier on rather than later. What did we have the rest of this 5th round? So after our Garrett Wilson pick, Caleb Johnson, Marvin Harrison, DJ Moore, Monty, Travion Henderson, Cortland Sutton, Xavier Worthy, Devonta Smith, Calvin Ridley. That feels early for Calvin Ridley. Jameson Williams, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift. Basically the last group of starting running backs that we could have gone with. I guess we'll be looking at the likes of Tony Pollard now as far as running backs are concerned. Yeah, Tony Pollard, Pacheco. It ain't pretty, folks. It ain't pretty. Take a chance on Tracy, Brian Robinson. Yeah, that's going to be something. That'll be something. As far as best available, yeah, I mean, Rome Odunze is a really good value. Yeah, I think I'm just going to be going Tony Pollard and then hoping Pacheco makes it back to me. Let's see if that's even on the table for us, in the cards for us. But yeah, guys, running back's going to be a real big problem for the squad. I can't give a higher grade than a C to this team. I had some frisky picks early on, but obviously didn't pay off. But hey, that's why we do these mocks. That's why we, do these experiments. And don't worry, we will do other future mock drafts from this 3rd overall position. We've got a lot of time until the draft season begins, August, September. So we will do many, many more of these exercises. Oh, unfortunately, Pacheco just got picked. So we're not going to be adding him to our bench as far as depth is concerned. Let's look at the running back list again. Oh, God. Yeah, I think that here you either force a Tyrone Tracy or a Brian Robinson pick. I don't love either of those situations. Right now, I mean, I could select a quarterback, but I think we should go another running back at this point in time. I'm gonna go. I think the upside for Brian Robinson is a little bit higher. Let's see what happens. This was definitely a reach of a pick, but I think that maybe it was the pick we had to make, honestly. So I'm going to look at the big board again to see how this thing is playing out. So Keon Coleman, Mark Andrews. I wonder if we're going to start seeing kickers and defenses start to go with some more auto picks. If that's the case, then we'll go like 1-2 more rounds. We've got the bulk of our roster done, right? I'm going to start with the wide receiver position, recapping that first, because that sounds a lot nicer when I say Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Trey McBride, Garrett Wilson. All right, what are your running backs, though? James Conner and Tony Pollard, baby. And then Brian Robinson on the bench. Could be better. Could be a lot better. So, we're hoping and praying we get 10 points from the running back position every single week and that there's no injuries. What has taken place in this 7th round so far? Otherwise, again, after our Brian Robinson selection, Keon Coleman, Mark Andrews, Juwan Jennings, Pickens, Javonte Williams. I don't like that Javonte Williams pick. I honestly don't think that he's necessarily the favorite in Dallas. I think you've got a lot of options there. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, it's a rookie situation, just hot hand approach. Tedero McMillan in the towards the end of the 7th round. I don't mind Tedero McMillan. I think he's going to be a much better real life, wide receiver than fantasy. Like, there's just too many guys there in Carolina. Also, the Roma Dunze going after Tedero McMillan is nuts. That should not be the. I mean, honestly, Roma Dunze going after like pretty much all of these wide. Like, he shouldn't be going after Matthew Golden. Like, I get it. The Packers finally drafted a 1st round wide receiver. Guys, Roma Dunze. He shouldn't be going after Travis Hunter. He shouldn't be going after, Tedero McMillan. Like, maybe we can have a conversation about Jordan Addison and Pickens and Juwan Jennings, but not after those other guys. Come on now. 8th round, Patrick Mahomes, Odunze, Tyrone Tracy. Okay, so we won't be able to get Tyrone Tracy. Cooper Kupp, Khalil Shakir. 3 more picks until our next selection. Oh, God. Ramondre Scatterboot, Austin Eckler. Also, how is Chris Godwin still available? That's nuts. Ranked way too low here. What else can we do? Jalen Waddle. Maybe we just go quarterback here. Kyler Murray. Oh, God. Again, going real heavy on that Arizona offense. Names to consider. I feel like I almost have to go Austin Eckler. Jacoby Myers, Austin Eckler. Damn, all right. We're going real deep in the bag with that last selection at wide receiver. I'm going to go Scatterboot. Let's see if the hype is real for Scatterboot and if he can take over Tracy's role, if it can be a 50-50 split. I'm taking chances here, folks. I'm taking chances. And then I'm going to just probably get a quarterback to round out this roster, for the sake of, again, I think we're going to get more auto picks. I don't want to make this a 30-minute video. And we can kind of wrap it up and give you, again, an overview of what happened, what we could have done better. And I think, again, we are obviously having fun with it, trying to be entertaining. But yeah, the Drake London pick in the 2nd round, that's kind of where it went wrong. Should have been Chase Brown first. Then this roster looks a lot different, right? A little bit of a different feel to it. Jacoby Myers also just got selected. Damn. I'm not going to go Kyler Murray. That's way too much pressure having for the Arizona Cardinals offense. I'm going to go a guy that I think can break out in Caleb Williams. So let's go with Caleb Williams. I'll probably be selecting another quarterback if we were going, the full length of this draft. But for the sake of having a complete roster and being able to better judge it grade wise, wanted to select a quarterback there. So sometimes we reach because of that. But let's just run down the roster. Caleb Williams, James Conner, Tony Pollard, Jefferson, Drake London, Trey McBride, Garrett Wilson, Brian Robinson, Cam Scattaboo on the bench so far. And I think Rachaad White is a good player that we can queue up later on. Hopefully he still has PPR value. Najee Harris, somebody that we can pick up 50-50 splits. But for now, this is the squad. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm not going to give it too high of a grade. It's in the C, maybe even in the D category. I don't know. But definitely one of the more disappointing mocks that we've done. But I want to share all the results that I have with you guys, be transparent as I can. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter, X at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. We'll do our best to answer any questions you guys might have. But in the meantime, we will see you guys in future videos.